off key. There. I think they turned the mic off on me. Is it working? You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I get nothing here. I need those like little things that the musicians play with. I'm glad that Irene opened, by the way, by saying like it's gonna get funnier the longer the night goes on since I'm first. Like I was like, thanks. But this is nice. This is swank. This is like the nicest apartment building I've ever been in. You guys are great. Like it's like nice that they put on these like free shows for you guys. It's like I feel like a human amenity right now. It's great. I normally perform comedy in like these dark dive bars on the north side, so this is like a nice upgrade. But I had to like tune things up. I had to like write some new stuff for you guys. So let's try this joke out. This is just for you. Don't you guys? What's the deal? What's the deal with when your Apple AirPods, the batteries die, and then you can't listen to the rest of your NPR podcast on your way to Soul Cycle? Am I right? I thought that was done. But these guys all told me to do it. All right. Anyway, so let's get into it. So I was walking down the street in Wicker Park the other day, and where I live, and there was like a homeless man on the street, and he was asking people for change. So, everybody came by. He's like, hey, do you have some change? Excuse me, can you spare some change? But he said something different to me when I came up. So, like, the guy in front of me, he's like, hey, you have some change? Next guy, you have some change? And then he looks at me and goes, hey, man, you got a cigarette? And I was like, what is it about my face? Like, what is it about me that he's like this? This is the guy. Like, I don't smoke, but something about me, he looked at me, he's like, yeah, this guy's been around a lot of tar. This guy's a couple years away from developing some sort of serious respiratory problem. Got me thinking, because it's like a common theme. Like, so I was at Mariano's like a couple weeks ago. It was like a Saturday, and I just went in there to buy an onion. And I was in line, and the checkout cashier looked at me, and she was like, you look really tired. I was like, well, I got 12 hours of sleep. And also, thanks. Like, what are you trying to pick me up right now? Like, because I only date Jewel employees. And then I was in the elevator the other day at work, and I ran into an old coworker, and I was like, hey, Mike, what's going on? And he looks at me, and he goes, what's wrong? And I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, you look like someone kicked your puppy. And because I do have a dog, so thank you. But I was like, no, I just got a raise. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I think I figured out what it is. I think I figured out what's going on is that I must have like a terrible case of like resting suicide face. Resting suicidal face. What it could be though is like, it's winter. It's probably seasonal affective disorder. You guys get that? Like there's no sun all winter, and you just it's like you get in the doldrums or whatever. I think that's a thing. So I went to the doctor recently because I wasn't feeling well. He did a blood test on me, and he was like, well, everything's fine, but your vitamin D is a little low. And so they literally sent me an email, and it said like, if you could just try to go outside for 10 minutes a day, you'd be fine. My doctor thinks I'm a shut-in and that I never leave the house. So I think that plays all into it. So I was like, I need to do something. I got to do something about this. And I was reading this BuzzFeed article about there's a Tibetan concept that you have to contemplate death 5 times a day in order to be happy. I was like, this is good. I like this. But I'm a busy guy. I'm a man on the go, a man about town. I could barely remember to send my rent check once a month, let alone something 5 times a day. So I got this app called We Croak, which was also in the article. And We Croak is an iPhone application that will send you a push notification 5 times a day at a random time, and it says, reminder, you're going to die. That's it. That's all it does. And I don't know if it's working. By the way, I love the name We Croak. It's got to be social dying. Like that's what's trending now, you guys. So I got these push notifications piling up. If you pull down the thing on your phone, it's just like reminder, you're going to die. Reminder, you're going to die. Derek Venmoed you $11. Reminder, you're going to die. So I'm like kind of worried if somebody sees my phone, they're like, I have some sort of psychiatric problem or something. But I I don't. By the way, if you have only 99 cents and you need something in your life, I recommend it. Like, it's either that or like some sort of premium Candy Crush. So, anyway, I'm thinking about dying. What do I want to do? What do I want to do after I die? You know, you can be buried, you can be cremated, but another option that you might not know about is you could be cryogenically frozen. Yes, it's another BuzzFeed article. So this is a thing where you basically, they come in right after you die, and they replace all the fluid in your body with some sort of preservative, and they put you in the deep freeze, and the idea is someday, you know, hundreds of years in the future, they will have the technology to bring you back. So, and it costs $200,000, which is like a lot of money, right? Like, it's kind of steep. But if you're a budget-conscious, like, discriminating consumer like I am, you can just get your head sawed off and they'll freeze just that for a cool $80K. Which I think is not bad, right? Like, it's pretty good. Because, you know, it's about your brain, right? So it makes sense. So I've been thinking about doing it. You know, because I think that's what the future needs is to, you know, reanimate my freezer-burnt, disembodied head. And they'll look at it and they'll be like, well, this guy doesn't even look like he wanted to be alive the first time. Frozen suicide face. So they'll bring me back. My only concern is, like, without any arms, how am I going to find out what the Tibetans think about living as a reanimated, dismembered head, you know? Like, how do you... That one was great. I actually... We'll move along. But maybe I just need a girlfriend, you know? Maybe I don't need to think about dying. So I've been dating. This is a pivot. You guys have Tinder? You guys have Tinder? Yeah. So I matched with this girl, Lupus, the other day. Lupis. So if you don't know, lupus is actually a chronic autoimmune disorder where your body attacks its own healthy tissue. And this girl, Lupus, she had like a little description under her photo, and she's like, I'm just looking for a guy with a sense of humor, you know? I just want a funny guy. And so I was like, all right, well, here's what I'll do. I'll send her a message, and I'll be like, hey, did you know you're named after a chronic autoimmune disorder? Causes your body to attack your own healthy tissue? I don't think she found it funny, but she did text me back and she said, lupus, the disease, is spelled L-U-P-U-S, you jackass. Turns out she was a medical doctor. No word on what her specialty was, though. She didn't answer that. But in general, like, I've been dating in Chicago, and I found that, like, I think the people here are, like, you know, higher caliber than, like, I'm from Ohio, so people are, you know, there's doctors on Tinder and everything. I used to date this girl in Ohio named Lindsay, and one day, Lindsay was like, I'm going to class it up. She called me, and she was like, I just got my tax refund check, and I'm flush with cash. And you know what I did? She took her 1990 Honda Civic to the gas station, and she filled it up with the 93 octane premium gasoline. Because she said, I just felt like treating myself. Now, if you don't know, that's a terrible, terrible idea. But true story, she's doing anesthesia now in the city of Columbus, Ohio. So if you're looking to get, you know, like a minor procedure done at like an outpatient setting, I recommend you go there because maybe she'll give you the high octane stuff. You know, she'll treat you. Or maybe I should, you know, there's an outlet as video games, right? Maybe I should play some video games. My brother's big into video games. He told me about this thing the other night called Euro Truck Simulator. And this is a game where people pay $60 to drive around a semi-truck in like the simulated you know, streets and highways of Europe. And that's it. You just haul freight. And like, I'm wondering, what is appealing about this? Is it just that it's in Europe? Like, could I get Euro Janitor? But like, it's an escape because, you know, like you have access to affordable government health care. I don't know. Irene, I think the jokes are getting less funny this time. Messed it up. Let's see, what else do I have for you?
Are you done?
No, I have one more thing. I can't close on Euro Janitor. So anyway, let's bring it back to the homeless. Bring it full circle. Yeah, so I'm reminded of a story before I moved here. I was visiting with my girlfriend, and we encountered a belligerent homeless man on the street in the Loop. He came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you have $1?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything." And he was like, "Well, fuck you then." He's like, I know you have something. I know you've got $1. Like, why don't you just tell me you don't have $1? Like, you're an animal and all this stuff. And then he ran off. And then later, I encountered a nicer homeless man who like reached out and he was like, "Hi, God bless you, sir. Like, it's okay if you don't." And I was like beginning to tell him, "No, I don't have anything," but I felt like, this guy is so much more deserving. So I took him into a Chick-fil-A, and then he started ordering. He's like, "I'll have the number 9. Can you upsize the fries and can I get the nuggets too?" So I ended up spending like $18 on this guy. And then later on in the evening, I started wondering, like, were they like collaborating? Like, were they working together? Like, did I fall victim to some elaborate trap of good hobo, bad hobo? I don't know, possibly. Anyway, I am Joel Broughton. That's it for me. Thank you.